if I can ask you real quick, just this is indulgent, but favorite pasta, like sauce?
You know what? I'll say this. It's, I mean, I don't know if I do this thing when I go camping where I doing this motorcycle trip last year, and one of the dishes that I would cook was, and this is not the best pasta. Is it my favorite? It's got a warm spot in my heart, or a big spot. But you get the pasta, you get the rotini, the spiral,
Ooh,
and then you get a jar of pesto. Because
yum.
all of these things are sold at gas stations across America. So you can get them. They're small. They fit on the bike. And when you were able to make a pesto rotini at the campsite on one of those little jet boil, you feel like you just discovered fire or something. You're like
Yes.
a hot. It's like such like a. You feel so accomplished that. For me, even now when I'm not on the campsite, I'm kind of like it. You know, oh, I forgot the main component. You open a can of tuna and you just dump that in. You mix.
Ooh.
It's very like it's
Whoa.
kind of hamburger helper vibe, very college dorm room style vibe. But when you're out in nature, you know, you're making that. You're looking out across the Pacific Ocean. It's just like it's unbelievable.
That's
Unbelievable feeling.
awesome.
This guy's hunting
Yeah.
and gathering, is whipping it all together. Can we talk? I'd love to hear more about these motorbike trips. And also, because in the video for Home, the first single off the new album, you're canoeing around. You've become an outdoorsman.
You know, Canada. If you want it, it's got the nature.
I'd love to ask, is it like the solitude of these activities that you like? Because to focus on a lyric in Home that goes, I never called, let our friendship dissolve. Now my welcome's worn out and your hate for me's grown. Feels like that's an introvert who's, focusing on solo time, but trying to balance that. And how good are you at like staying connected with people while also trying to take that time for yourself to canoe or do whatever else it might be that you need?
I'm a very like see you when I see you kind of person,
Hmm.
which I think is fine in a way, and the street goes two ways, you know what I mean? So I don't I like to stay in touch with people if I can, but if it falls out, then I'll see you when I see you or whatever, which usually is true. But I think it's that lyric to me is kind of I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I could go into this whole like therapized kind of explanation or whatever, but I think I don't know. It's about some kind of that feeling. You're from somewhere and you want some kind of you want to feel uh, something about
Hmm.
but maybe it doesn't. I don't. It's hard to say. Sometimes I'm up here. I feel like I'm pretending to be Canadian, or I've lived away for so long. I'm LARPing as a Canadian or something at this point. I'm in a canoe music. I'm sure there's a lot of Canadians like, give me a break, get out of here.
Man,
So I don't know.
I fully get you. I think it's why that lyric hit so hard for me. Like, brief context on me, I started this job almost exactly a year ago now, and I moved from Melbourne to Sydney, which, a big move. All my friends and family in Melbourne, all that sort of stuff. Spent the last 10 years there. And now I feel that same feeling when I go home to Melbourne. I'm like, oh, yeah, I want something to click. I want the Melbourne feeling, the feeling I had for the decade of my life. But I don't have
And
like
they're
a.
like, yeah, good to see you, man.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, oh
exactly.
you're back. Oh cool, yeah, good to see
Oh,
you.
nice to see you. How's Sydney? Yeah, yeah, it's good. Okay, cool. See you next time.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a weird thing to navigate, hey?
yeah, but I mean, but that's kind of it's the beauty of it's one of those things where you think about it and you're kind of like, what a strange concept in the first place. Is it even mean anything, or is it even that important? I don't know. Maybe
Hmm.
not.
You seem
Maybe
more
it
at
is.
peace with it than me. I'm getting a canoe. We're going to make it happen. It's going to solve all my
Yeah,
problems.
I would recommend.
Now we have to talk more about guitar because what's so amazing is it was recorded in like a 12-day period in November last year. Can you tell us what was like happening that week? Like, where did the week start?
Well, basically, that motorcycle trip with the pesto and the pasta that I was talking about, that went up the West Coast, and I got to Canada. I was there for a wedding, and then we were looking for a place for my mom to live, and so that all happened. And then I was up there for quite a while, and then is this album? I went back to where I live in Los Angeles, and I had like 2 months before the house stuff finished up, and Mom was going to move in. I was going to go back up, and I was going to renovate the house for her a little bit and get her set up and whatever. So I only had this little window. So the 2 weeks that the guitar album, because there was another album that happened the first month and a bit when I first went home, because the whole idea was okay, I got these ducks in a row. I'm going to go back down. I got to make an album. Then I can renovate. Then after the renovation, then we'll put the whatever. Um, but the first album didn't really work out as well. I mean, it got written, but I just couldn't push it through the finish line. So I got to a point with it where I was re-recording and re-recording and re-recording, and it became so frustrating that I was like, I'm just gonna stop doing this. which is something new that I'd never tried. I was just like, you know what? Let's take all 14 of these songs that I wrote and we'll just put them over here and we'll just start brand new. And
Wow.
luckily, it worked, and I like the guitar album a lot. Not, I like the other thing that I made too. That the other thing I'm calling "Hear the Music" because yeah, no one will ever hear the music. But yeah, no, guitar I think is cool, and it feels like a very. I think because it was made so quickly, and it's all the recordings on the album are just the demo. I mean, I don't know. It's like a just the first time they were recorded, and it just feels very like pure to me or something. So
Man,
I'm
so cool.
satisfied.
When you're
I
locked
love it.
in for
Yeah.
like 12 days like that, is the vibe sort of like fun and creative and explorative, or is it more just like, oh shit, gotta get this album, the album's in me, I gotta get it out, I gotta get it done? Is it feel nice, or is it a little bit of exercising?
When it works, it feels really good. But that's the thing. I think that the first record, it's like I had to like kind of Drano the pipes or something, you know. I had to like kind of get the sediment out. But it is interesting, and I haven't felt it in a long time, but when you flex that, you know, or exercise that muscle, the like songwriting muscle, and like when you start for me at least, and you start like thinking with in melody, and you think about it's like the songs want to. Well, I feel like when I get in that zone, they want to keep coming out, or it's like I don't know. Like I remember when I finished, I was like, okay, I'm done, and the very next day we went back up to Canada. But on the way up to Canada, I was kind of like, oh, well, this would sound good, or like, oh, that's a good lyric, you know. So it's like you kind of put yourself in that mode.
Matt, can I ask you for, taking this album now live, like, are there any songs you're particularly excited or nervous to play live and to get, the crowd's feedback on?
Um, Not really. Not nervous. I don't think. I'm excited to play some of them. I'm also. That's another kind of thing with. There was a moment or a couple moments during COVID. We did a bit of a couple shows and a couple little tours and stuff over the past couple years, and there were a couple instances where I was like, okay, we're gonna dial it in. We're gonna get the guitar sounds to sound exactly like the album, and I want to make it just so, and the synth's got to sound exactly, and when we would do that, it was cool, and I was like, wow, and I proved something that we could do it or something to myself at least. But I also kind of felt like we were on like a reunion tour. It's like, oh, it just felt. So I think with this, in a way, the songs, I don't even the arrangements probably aren't even going to be like they are on the record. I don't want to play an instrument on the stage anymore. I just want to Frank Sinatra. So I'm
Yes.
going to leave it in the hands of my bandmates, and they're all great musicians as well, and they have very strong musical voices. So it's like, as long as the song is respected, I kind of would like to let them walk the dog in any which way they can, and and that goes for the old songs too. But I think it's part of that touring thing. I want to, because back in the day, I keep saying this, like we never rehearsed anything back in the day, and we would just go, and if you caught us in the beginning of a tour, like we were pretty much learning the songs on stage. So not to say that they got that much better down the line, but I kind of miss that energy a little bit. Just kind of like, let's just cast the line and see what we reel in. Like it doesn't. I don't need to put out another album. I don't need to go on tour. I might as well make it interesting for everybody, including us.
Man,
So
that's so cool. Well,
there
yeah,
we go.
I hope that you do have a good time because the tour looks
Yeah,
pretty relentless for the next few months.
it could crash and burn so badly, and like that's exciting too.
Yes.
I don't care.
Will you whip out the pesto like one more time on the tour with the pesto and the tuna? To
Oh
see-
my God, the worst show of the tour. I'll just hush everyone and start cooking on a jet boiler downstairs.
There's a reason I don't want to play an instrument up anymore. Let's dig in.
Yeah,
Man, well, thank
yeah,
you so much. Hopefully, we do see you on Australian shores very soon. The album Guitar is out August 22 and he's on the road non freaking stop. Mac DeMarco, thank you so much, brother.
absolutely.
Chip